Hi, welcome back to Podmas. Happy December 5th. We're getting a little comfy today in our PJs. I'm wearing my mom's pajama pants that I stole so long ago. And I just wanted to cozy up and talk about Christmas lists today, but mostly dream lists. So the classic Christmas list. I mean, being in my PJs makes me feel very childlike. And when you were like a kid and you were like, oh my gosh, okay, what's on my Christmas list? But then when I feel like you get older, it's like necessities. Like my car insurance. Would you like to pay for a bumper? Not a bumper. What do they call it? Like a license plate sticker? I know someone who always just asked for that for Christmas, or a friend of mine. Her brother always gets her just like a Spotify premium membership for the year every Christmas. Absolutely love that. Getting older, we got priorities around here. I don't need a new shiny freaking toy. I need some basic necessities. And love that. But that's not as exciting to talk about. Christmas list depends on the family, depends on the vibe. But what I want to talk about is your dream list, your dream life list, because I am finally starting to realize what's on mine. And this isn't something I'm just going to ask Santa Claus for. Is Santa a metaphor for the universe slash God? Whoa. Please contribute if you have thoughts about this, because if you've already had this epiphany and I'm like late to the game, I need to know. Because on a Christmas list, you're like, Santa, please give me a pony. Please give me a new chair. Please get me a little sister. You know what I mean? And so then Santa grants it to you. But I feel like what I've been doing as an adult is like, please, universe, or if you're religious, please, God, help my dreams come true. Help my podcast reach more people. Help me buy my dream home, help me make enough money to afford the things I want and feel like I'm living a luxurious life. What? We're just asking someone else, but maybe we should start asking ourselves. I don't know. Whoa, things are getting really existential. But when I started to think about like what is my dream life and like, well, fuck, when New Year's comes, what are your New Year's resolutions? What do you want to be working towards? I started to pay attention to what I was consuming, because and not in terms of social media. Because on social media, we're just comparing ourselves to everybody else's lives constantly. And it's really overwhelming because on social media, we can just show all the highlights of what's going on. You know, the fucking vibes, blah, blah, blah. But it also in my own life, a lot of people are doing different things than I am. And I'm also coming into an age where we have a lot more autonomy over our choices. You know, people are slowly making more money, so they have money to make more decisions with. I'm trying to get there as well, but it's a slow process. And I've found myself like wishing for things and then sitting back and being like, wait, is that something I actually really want? Like my brother is traveling the world, as I've mentioned. And back a couple months ago, he was in Bali. And I've always thought like, oh, Bali would be so cool, whatever. And he was texting me and he was like, come visit me. Come visit me for Christmas or my birthday. Like, come to Bali. And I kept being like, should I go? Should I go? Should I go? Like, it feels like a once in a lifetime thing to go visit your brother across the world in Bali. And I would say yes, but then I would sit with it longer and be like, first of all, I can't afford it. Second of all, do I really want to go right now? Is that really what I want to be doing right now? And my instinct was to be like, obviously, Jess, who doesn't want to travel right now? But no, not obviously. That's not necessarily my dream. My dream right now is my podcast. Duh. Why the fuck would I be posting episodes every single day of December if it wasn't my dream? So I have had to really sit back and go, what do I want? What's my dream, despite what anyone else might think of that? And my dream is so much more rooted in my career, in my home life, in building a family one day, and being able to invest in a home and like fill it with beautiful plants and decorations and comfy things that make me feel safe. And that's not my brother's dream right now, and that's okay. He is living his best life. He is so happy and fulfilled doing exactly what he's been wanting to do for a while now, which is go travel. And for me, I have to remind myself, it's okay that that's not my dream. It's okay that I don't want to go, explore all these places and meet all these people right now, because that's not what I need. I feel like I need stability and, a place that's safe for me and a place where I can cultivate my own life away from my parents. And like, when I sit back and think about all that, that's not that sexy. That's not going to look that nice on Instagram. My brother's trip? Oh, Lord Jesus, does it look fantastic on Instagram. So I get all confused and think that I'm in the wrong or I'm chasing the wrong thing. And yet I'm not. And so then once I started to like sit back and like lean into the dreams that I actually have that are like career based and home based and stable life based and investing in my safe space based, I noticed what I consume. What YouTube videos do I seek out? What Netflix shows am I watching? What Instagram accounts am I really feeling envious of or just did love to admire? Well, let me tell you. My favorite YouTuber, who's been my favorite YouTuber for like a year or two now, her name is Shayla Quinn, and all she posts for like 90% of the time is at home vlogs. It is the simplest thing, but it is like her just taking me through her day, her morning routine, she always works out every day, her work that she does, the kind of things she cooks for dinner, the fun things she does with her friends and her boyfriend. And I love it. I eat up her vlog every Sunday. And same goes for the second favorite YouTuber. They're actually probably my first favorite, but it bounces between. But I just started watching them recently. They're a couple, Eamon and Beck, and they post as well almost every Sunday. And I'm like, what's their channel? Home based. It used to be van life, but I didn't find them when they were in van life. I found them when they settled into their cabin in Ontario and did home renos. I love watching their vlogs. It's literally like, watch us transform this bedroom, watch us go throughout our day and like do home life things. And so when I sat back and realized all the content I was consuming was so directly linked to my dreams. I want to have either a beautiful apartment somewhere in Toronto, maybe New York City like Shayla Quinn, facing the water. I want to have a cabin that frickin' is right on the lake like Eamon and Beck. And so I just started to feel so fucking relieved because I was no longer comparing my dreams to everyone else's. I had a family/friend gathering like right when my brother left for his trip. So like it was for my dad's birthday. I was the only kid there. It was also weird because it's my dad's 50th birthday and everyone was like very confused what my relationship was to my dad. Someone thought I was his sister. Someone thought I came with someone else. It was so bizarre. And my brother wasn't there either. So like people were like, "Oh, where's your brother?" Whatever. And I said, "He's traveling." And someone literally was like, "Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Are you going to do that?" And I was like, what? No, I'm not going to do that. Like, personally, between you and I want to go travel for my career. I'm going to go travel around the freaking world when I'm getting paid to either go sign books, to go do podcast tours there. I don't want to go right now and go travel with my brother. No hate to him. I do love the idea, but I also don't, like, we got to be selective with where we're putting our time and energy. So I was like, no, like I like to be more stable. I can't really bounce between places. My mental health would just not do well with that. And I found it a bit weird and a little bit rude to just assume that I was going to do the exact same thing as him when that's really not my specific dream. And that's okay. And my boyfriend and I have started to have really great conversations about this too, because there's just so many options in our generation on what we can do with our lives. There's so many TikToks I see of people being like, should I move to Paris? Should I settle down and have kids and get married? Should I go explore the world? Should I quit my job or should I climb the corporate ladder? And people are really fucking confused. And it's really confusing when people are constantly showing us what options we have. My beautiful 80-year-old grandma literally said to me, she's like, I don't know how you kids do it. She's like, I threw my 3 kids in my one car with my husband and we just drove around a couple blocks near us to go, where should we move? We want a bit of a nicer neighborhood. What would make sense? And she's like, you could only drive so far with 3 screaming kids in the back. I'm like, damn, facts. And then she said to me recently too, she's like, we were talking about graduating high school and deciding what's next. And she's like, I didn't really want to start full-time work yet. And I didn't want to get married. So I started nurses training. And I'm like, that sounds so simple that like you had 3 options. work full time, get married, or go to nurses training. And life just isn't like that anymore. And it leaves so much room for regrets too, which I think is really tough. I see that my cousin just went to Dalhousie in Halifax and she's surrounded by the ocean. And I'm like, I'm so pissed I didn't consider Dalhousie or even apply when I was going to go to do my undergrad, because I would have loved to be surrounded by the ocean. And it would have been so different for me to move away from home. But then I got to sit back and I got to be like, Jess, everything happens for a reason. Everything worked out the way it was meant to for you. It's okay. We can't keep living in a what if world. We can't keep looking to everyone else to figure out what to do next. Go inward. Go inward. What are the things you consume on a daily basis or weekly basis? What are the things you daydream about when you're completely by yourself? And I talked to you yesterday about doing yin yoga, because that's a great place to rest and allow your mind to wander, and it'll give you signals on what you really want, not what anyone else wants from you. And in a future episode in Podmas, we will talk about navigating answering the questions from the family members of what are you doing with your life? Because holy fucking titties. Don't even get me started on that yet, but you're going to get me started on it soon. We'll get into it. I love you. I hope this was helpful. Remember that you got this. It's okay. Everything's going to be just fine. And I will see you tomorrow for a brand new episode. Please share this with a friend if you enjoyed it, and submit a story or a question, and I will share it on the pod.